Yo, what's going on? Today we're going over the easiest ways to make a website. This is just kind of a mix of personal experience plus some research that I've done recently. So whether you're looking for like a quick landing page to spin up or if you want to build something yourself, I got some good options for you. All right, if you've never built a website before, probably the first thing you want to do is kind of just check out some website builders. These are really easy to use and they kind of will probably do everything you need. So obviously the popular ones are Wix, Squarespace, and Webflow. All of them basically do the exact same thing, but there are some differences between them. So I'm just going to quickly list off some pros and cons between like the three of them, between Wix, Squarespace, and Webflow. So let's start with Wix. So Wix, some of the pros are that it has a great template selection. The interface is like pretty easy to use, has like a nice drag and drop interface that you can use. So it's pretty easy to put stuff together. Plus the one thing that's like pretty nice is that they have like an app market. Which means that if you want to build like custom functionality, like say sending emails or something like that, that's pretty easy to do. And then some cons for Wix is that if you're on the free plan, you basically have to have their Wix branding on it. And if you want to see any tracking or analytics on your website, you will also have to pay for that as well. Okay, let's move on to Squarespace and let's see some of the pros. So Squarespace probably has some of the best templates I've seen out of all this site builders. And not only that, but all their templates are mobile responsive, meaning that they can be viewed on your phone. And not only that, if you ever need to, you can export or import data into your website or out of your website whenever you need to, which is pretty handy if you're ever switching websites or if you kind of just want to copy and paste a bunch of stuff over. All right, the cons of Squarespace is that it doesn't have a free plan, meaning that you will have to pay for Squarespace at some point if you want to keep using the platform. But they do have a free trial if you want to try it out. Another con is that they don't have an app market, meaning that you could be limited in some functionality. But apparently, if you do know how to code, you can add some functionality in that way. All right, let's go into the pros for Webflow. So from what I've read is that Webflow has the best SEO features like adding meta tags and editing meta descriptions and all that. So if SEO is something that's like important to you, Webflow definitely has support for that. Just like the other website builders, Webflow also has some great templates to choose from. They're like, you can't really go wrong in terms of like choosing a template. They all kind of like, all of them look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So one of the best things about Webflow is that it's probably the most advanced in terms of making your site customizable. But you will probably need some coding knowledge if you want to really get the full extent of this. All right, so let's go into the cons. So the con is that it's not as easy to use compared to like other website builders, and some functionality does require some coding knowledge. But there's definitely like still a lot you can do with Webflow even if you don't code. But another con is that like your website visitors is limited to what plan you're paying for. So for example, if you're on their lowest plan, which is called basic hosting, you're limited to 25,000 monthly users or monthly visits. All right, so those are the big three website builders, but I do want to give an honorable mention to card.co. This is kind of like a smaller scale one that it doesn't have all the functionality, but it is super easy to use. It's a great landing page builder, and you can actually get like a site up in just a couple minutes, and it is free, which is great. But there's like obviously there's some paid features if you want to get the full extent out of it. But if you want looking for something that's like really quick and easy to use, I'd recommend checking out card.co. All right, now that we've talked about the website builders, I want to talk about two other options that you can have for building websites. So obviously one is literally hiring a web developer to kind of build it for you. I know this isn't exactly in the cards for everyone because it's not exactly the most like affordable thing to do. So another option besides that is literally to like build the site yourself. Obviously, since I'm a web developer, I actually just build my websites myself. And this is actually surprisingly easy if you just want like a simple landing page and you don't need anything crazy. It's actually surprisingly easy to do if you just want to kind of like spin out a website, see like customize it yourself and see what happens. So I'm going to quickly go over kind of like what I do. Basically, all you really have to do is just like Google like modern HTML and CSS templates. And then I pretty much just go through them and see what I like. And then I pretty much just download whichever one I like. Okay, so I found this website template called Stellar. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. Going to go ahead and unzip it. And there we go. So I can open index.html. And now I have the file on my computer locally, or the website locally. Now we can basically just start customizing it. This is all the files in basically for the website. And all you really have to do is just kind of open one of the files, usually index.html in a text editor. Let's go ahead and just change the title to my new website. And then obviously when you refresh the page, it's gonna be there. So, pretty straightforward. Obviously, since this is completely custom, you have like the entire code base. You can pretty much customize everything about it: colors, layout, pictures, like all that kind of stuff. Obviously, and it already works in terms of like navigation. So, yeah, it looks pretty solid. You could kind of just whip this up. Now, the one thing you have to remember is that obviously, if you're building it yourself, you kind of have to host it, and there's free ways to do that as well. Like for example, GitHub Pages is a great way to host your websites for free. So pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go into how to get this working, but it is actually really easy to do. So that's another option if you want to kind of just build it, if you want to host it yourself, and it's free. So yeah, that's basically it. All right, well, yeah, that's basically my advice in terms of like if you want to get a website up and running. So if you got any questions, feel free to comment below. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.